Okay.
All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another adventure with Sarah. And today we have a wonderful friend of mine joining us from Pamplona, Spain, Fran Gloria. Good morning, Fran. How are you?
Good morning. Very well over here.
Okay, so it's buenos tardes or buenas noches?
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes. Okay, so Fran lives in Pamplona, Spain, and he's joining us today to discuss something really interesting, which is we have just launched on Guide Collective a new book club that we're trying to get people to join. We've already got a nice core group, and he is hosting our first month. So each month of the Guide Collective book club that we host, somebody from a different country is going to be introducing a book about their country or their culture. We're going to have associated events all month, and then at the end of the month, we're going to discuss this book. So what is our book this month, Fran?
The Sun Also Rises, Ernest Hemingway.
All right, so some of you may have read this. I don't know if you have. If you haven't, it's a great book. I'm reading it as well, and I'm going to participate in the conversation. Our conversation is going to be on the 25th, and you're going to host it, right, Fran?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So because Fran lives in Pamplona and in Spain, a lot of the book takes place in Spain and has to do with bullfighting and a lot of other Spanish topics. So this was his choice for how to get started with our book club. So we thought it would be fun to get you guys kind of revved up for the book club and interested in all of the different Spanish topics that it touches by taking you out for a walk through a bullring. So I'm just going to let Fran take it away this morning. So this is our virtual tour of the day, is something I never ever would have thought that I'd be presenting live, which is so exciting. Somehow Fran is so well connected. He knows everybody. He was able to get into the bullring by himself. So he's got the whole building to himself. So I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for joining us, Fran. Take it away.
Okay. So hi, everybody. As Sarah said, it's an incredible privilege to be by ourselves here in Pamplona's Bullring. This Bullring, a little bit of history, was constructed in 1923, which is the year that Ernest Hemingway came for the first time. So we had a previous Bullring that got burned, and the year that we inaugurated it is the year that Ernest Hemingway came. And he fell in love with bullfighting in here, and he got the inspiration to write The Sun Also Rises. Okay, so when he talks in the book about the bullring, he talks about where we are right now. Okay, in the book, it talks. I think the bullfighting is a metaphor to talk about relationships. It's a metaphor to talk about many things. Okay, if you have not read the book, you have to. The main character, Jake, he had a war accident, and he can have no sexual relationships. So the thing is that he's deeply in love with Lady Bread. And in the bullfighting, we have bulls and we have steers. Okay, so there's this relationship between who is the bull, who is the steer. If the steer is the castrated one, if it's not. So it's a beautiful relationship between Spain, the culture, that Ernest Hemingway's manhood that was like super strong and all of that. So in the book, that's one of the bases about it. The first connection or the first moment the characters in the book take place or have contact with the bulls is when the bulls arrive into town. And they arrive exactly here. Okay, you see that light? Is when the bulls disembark in the city of Pamplona. Every day, the bulls that are away from the city, they come all the way to here and they disembark. Okay, so this is the first contact the characters have with the bulls. Okay? But the most important thing is not that. The most important thing, obviously, it's the bull. The thing is that when you enter the arena, it is a very powerful moment. Okay? Imagine you're a matador and you are going to risk your life in no time. Okay, so you need a lot of encouragement. There's going to be 23,000 people screaming and dancing and celebrating, and you're going to risk your life in front of them. So let's walk in the Bullring. Okay, so here we go. is Carmen, probably the most important bullfighting opera ever read or composed. When Bizet composed this opera, a lot of people remembers the habanera, which is when Carmen sings to her love. Okay, the thing is that, especially for me, this piece, this little piece that you have heard, it is the entrance of the bullfighters. Okay, it's the moment you need to have courage. It's the moment you have to become strong and you have to become a powerful person. In my personal life, when I have to do a presentation or I have to do something, a little bit overwhelming, this is the song that is on my mind. It's like, you have to put all the power up and you are there and you're strong. So this song, it's what bullfighting represents to me, okay? That power, that strength. Anyway, back to Hemingway. This bullring, as you can see, it's kind of a big, very big bullring. In the book, they talk about the running of the bulls. The bulls come into the bullring through that door that you see up there, okay? Right behind that red door, we have the streets of the running of the bulls. The bulls will cross all the bullring, all the arena, and they will go into that other big door. And as you see, on the left of that door, there's a red little door that says Toril, which is where, in the afternoon, each one of the bulls will come out. I don't know if now you can hear the sound. Very strange. Can you hear something weird? The echo. Because the bullring, the characteristic of the bullring is the acoustics. No matter where the bullfighter is, the acoustics are incredible. This is like a Roman Colosseum. It's like a Roman theater. Okay, so bullfighting has all of these things about Roman heritage and all of that. In this bullring, where did Ernest Hemingway sit? Well, that's where we're heading. He always sit right there, number 2. Why? Because he gets the best view of the bullfight. Okay? So I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna try to be seated there. Let's see if I don't fall or trip or anything. This is, okay, those are some marks of the bulls from 2 years ago, okay, because they don't take them all out. And, okay, this is kind of for very skinny bullfighters. Okay. So exactly, this is the place. By the way, it's raining, so hopefully no drops will come into the camera. Okay, let me turn this around so you see how I make a fool of myself to try to come all the way up to here. Okay. Let me put first the camera. Sorry for that. I'll be there in 1 second. Okay, I'm up. Okay, so this view, what you're seeing right now, it is exactly what Ernest Hemingway saw when he was here in Pamplona in the bullfight, because this is the seat of Ernest Hemingway. Right here on the other side, we have Ava Gardner. On the other side, we had Tyrone Power, all the people that came thanks to The Sun Also Rises to here, to the city of Pamplona. What can I tell you? Okay, I have a little notes about bullfightings and all that. One of the things that shocks me in the book, it's how Ernest Hemingway shows the bullfighter, okay? When they meet Pedro Romero, the bullfighter of the book, they say, the boy stood very straight and smiling in his bullfighting clothes. His jacket hung over the back of a chair. They were just finishing weaving his sash. His black hair shone under the electric light. He wore a white linen shirt, and the sword handler finished his sash and stood up and stepped back. The ritual of the dressing of the bullfighter, I think you have some pictures of bullfighters standing still. The image of the bullfighter, it's super beautiful, okay? So it's the dress, it's a very, very private moment, and bullfighters normally don't allow anybody to walk in as they're getting dressed because they're super superstitious. They don't like being seen, or they don't like all of those things. So that's one of the things about bullfighters that we need to remember. Another of the things that then the characters, they go into the movie, or sorry, into the bullfight. And the bullfight is divided in different stages. The first one is when the bullfighter welcomes with a pink cape the bull. And it's the beginning of the friendship. It's the beginning of the relationship between the bullfighter and the bull. Okay? Then the bullfighter goes and the picador comes. The picador are the guys that are on top of a horse. I think you have that. There we go. As you see, they have a bulletproof vest over the horses, because when this book was written, they didn't have them, and it was kind of gory. My mother, she remembers how gory those things were. When Lady Brett goes to her first bullfight, Jake, once they finish, they have a conversation and they say, "How about the horses? I couldn't help looking at them. She couldn't take her eyes off of them," said Mike. "She's an extraordinary wench. Then do have some rather awful things happening to them." Brett said, "I couldn't look away though." Back then, the horses, what they do is they charge against the horse. And as they didn't have any protection, the horses, many horses would die in the arena. Now, the horses are super protected and they don't have one bulletproof vest. They have two of them. So nothing happens to the horses. So that part in the book today is, let's say, a little bit updated, okay? And what else can I tell you? Then the banderillas come, and then the last part of the bullfight, which is the death of the animal, is when it comes. Okay? So in the book, all of the relationships that all the characters have, it's about how much each one hurts each person. Okay, it's voluntarily or involuntarily. The relationship each one has with or against the other. Everybody loves everybody. Everybody wants to have a relationship with Lady Brett, and how they confront. It's how it's represented in the bullfight. Okay? The main character is a steer. He cannot have sexual relationships. So the steer, he stands still, and he's the pacifier. So in the book, when you read the book, you will see that Jake is always calming everybody down like a good steer. Lady Brett, she's the bull. She's the passion. She's the strength. Okay? She's the character with more power, real power. It's Lady Brett. But as the bull, she doesn't decide her fate. Her fate, her love, it's Jake. And in the bullfight, the bull doesn't decide to be alive or not. The bullfighter will decide. Somebody else will decide. Okay, so those characters are there. Then we have Lady Brett's fiancé, and he's come down. He's not anymore. He's just like a puppet around Lady Brett. We could say those are the banderillas, the guys that put the sticks on the bulls. Okay, so and Robert Cohen, which is the one that is deeply in love with Lady Brett, and it's passionate love. I think he could be the matter, the one that kills, the one that he has a relationship with her in the book, but he doesn't get her. Okay, he doesn't get her love at the end because she loves Jake. So the similarities between the bullfight and the book, you know, the relationships, how they deal with it, I think it's the magic of the book, and it's the greatness of the book. It's one of the topics. On our last talk we're going to do on the 25th, I'm going to show you the other version, which is the running of the bulls, how the characters relate to running of the bulls, okay? How they confront all of that. So that's a little bit of what the book has to do and talk about bullfighting. I don't know if you have any questions about bullfighting or if you have any ideas about bullfighting. Because here in Spain, it's one of the topics that is super controversial. It's not just yes thing or no thing. It's right now we're in a 50-50%. People loves bullfighting, 50% people hates bullfighting.
So I just wanted to share a few more of the images that you sent, just to, if you can tell us a little bit about them. So we've got these ones. These are the ones you said that the pink flag, right?
Yes, that is the first cape that the bullfighter uses when they greet, they welcome the bull into the arena. Okay, and that is okay. That's
same
it.
one.
Yes, that's the same one. Beautiful.
What do these costumes represent? Do they have particular significance, or is it just sort of up to the individual what they wear?
Normally, the color has a lot of meaning, and most of the bullfighters, as they're super superstitious, they never wear yellow. Okay, but the matador, the head ones, they wear the dresses. They are gold embroidered. Okay, so the one that you see here that is dressed in black. Okay, the embroideries are black; they're not golden. He's not the number one matador. Okay, and in this matador dress, although it's a very macho thing, you're just a very, I'm a matador. First, it is a dress, and the bullfighter, he wears the bolero. Okay, the word bolero, it is the jacket that he's wearing. He's wearing pink stockings. He's wearing ballerina shoes. So there's a lot of duality between this macho image that we have, but a lot of femininity into it. So it's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
I've thought about that before. That's interesting you note that. So here comes the bull.
Here comes a big bull. They weigh, here, the ones that come to Pamplona, by tradition, they're super big, and they weigh minimum half a ton.
Wow.
So, and in the bullfighting vocabulary, we don't say that they're 5 years. We say that they have eaten the grass of 5 springs. Wow. It's one of those romantic things of bullfighting.
So this is this one has been stabbed by one of those. What are those?
No, that is okay. That is the name. Okay, when the bull comes in the arena, the brand, the bull ranch, they put those little threads, so you know what brand they are.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Right. It doesn't go too deep in the skin. That one doesn't hurt. Okay, that's the bullfighter fighting. Beautiful. I love that picture. You have to have.
Well, how often do people get injured? Because boy, that looks dangerous.
The thing is that in the book as well, when he talks about Romero, the bullfighter, he says that he's a real one. Okay, look at that beautiful picture. I mean, the color, the pose of the bullfighter, the bull charging. It's, to me, that is bullfighting. Okay, that is the art of bullfighting. That is strength. That the animal is pure, and the bullfighter is trying to teach him, not domesticate him. Right? It's beautiful, beautiful. With this fight, this bullfighter got, I think it was 2 years, and had a huge trophy because it was very spectacular. But anyway, back to the book. When Romero, he bullfights, he says that he is a real bullfighter. Because you can bullfight, imagine a half-a-ton animal charging against you. Obviously, if I were a bullfighter, I would be like, okay, there you go that way, far. A real bullfighter, a good one, will bullfight here, very close, and will let the bull horns pass right by his chest. Okay, it's like, okay, here's my life, I'm letting you play with it. Okay, that's the strength of the matadors.
So here's this little video that you sent me also. Let's see if we can get this queued up here.
Let's see if you guys can see it.
It's almost like posing, isn't it?
It is. It's like ballet. It's beautiful because the poses are so studied, so well. Look at that. Oh, qué bonito. It's
like theater.
Well, it is the play of life. I mean, they are representing life, they're representing death, they're representing friendship, they're representing everything. So they have this strong attitude to it. Okay, bullfighting, I always compare it with opera, because when you go to the opera, the first time you go, you either love it or hate it. Okay, the difference between bullfighting is that if you go to the opera and you don't like it, with years you might like it, bullfighting, if you don't like it, you don't like it forever. Okay. But if you love it, if you understand that, if you try to take the blood out or the image of the blood out, the power of it, how strong it is, it really moves you. It's one of the things that I totally understand that you guys are 100% against it, because it's a beautiful animal dying as a spectacle. And that's my mind. It's, I don't know if I like it or not. I mean, I like it because I've seen it since I was a baby, but I'm like, oh God, poor animal. So I don't know where personally I am. Okay. It's like kind of my heart is divided there. So it's, I don't know, bullfighting, it's passionate. It's, one of my kids, he's 14 years old, and he is totally in love with bullfighting. I mean, we don't watch bullfighting on television. We don't go bullfighting all around the world like other people do. We like bullfighting, but we go 2-3 times a year. That's pretty much it. My son, he is totally crazy with bull. He's obsessed. When he was like 5 years old, he asked to Santa for baby bulls to play with them. Wow. And he asked for a little cape, so he would be in the hallway. Way. I'm like, where did you get that from? So it's, and 3 years ago, for his birthday, he asked my mother, Grandma, I know what I want from you for my birthday gift. I want to go to the Bullring with you. So my mother, that's what she got him. She got tickets up there, way far. She was like, okay, he's a baby. He was like 11 years old. He's not going to like it. Might as well stay up there so he doesn't get to see it. Well, the next year he said, Dad, that was a joke. Next year, I want good tickets. So the second year, he went all the way down.
So do you think that part of the reason that people have such a strong reaction against bullfighting is they maybe just don't understand it? Because, I mean, I think through reading this book and learning about all the ways, the allegory between the bullfighting and the characters in the book, that at the end of the day, you end up having an understanding of what bullfighting is and the mechanics of it and how it all works. And I guess I find as a tour guide that part of our job is to help people understand things, and then they see it in a totally different way. Have you seen that as a tour guide? When you explain things, maybe people have a negative reaction against bullfighting, but once they've understood it, maybe their opinion changes.
Well, yeah, yes. I mean, when we guide, many times, the first thing is, no, I don't want to hear anything about bullfighting. I was like, no. And many times I have vegan people and they say, you're crazy. I'm not going to know. I'm like, give me 15 minutes. I just want to tell you the history about it. And people normally, they say, I would not go. I think it's crazy, but at least I understand it. And me as a tour guide, I think that's my job. Okay. And as a passionate for bullfights, that's my goal, just to let people understand what this is all about, what a crazy world it is, but also the beauty in it. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, and I remember the first time, I think I've told you this story before, the first time I ever went to Spain, and I was sort of like, oh, bullfights, we shouldn't go do that. That's terrible. And I didn't really understand it. But then I was sitting in the hotel lobby, and the mother of the owner of the hotel was watching a bullfight. And she got up out of her chair. She was like 150 years old. I didn't even think she could walk, but she got up and she started screaming at the TV and gesturing, and like she was right there, and she was screaming like she was an audience member. And just watching that passion really did change my mind, just in the sense that I don't have the capacity to judge. I'm not a part of your culture, you know, and this is obviously something that really incites passion and devotion amongst your culture for a reason. And that's the thing that's interesting to find out, is why.
Yeah, I mean, and I would always recommend for people, whenever they come to Spain, if they have a chance to watch one bullfight, try to watch it. But before watching it, research a little bit. Don't just go there, because what you're going to see is what you want to see, which is the blood and the gory. But try to think a little farther. Try to deep into it. Try to let yourself feel the passion of it. And if you don't like it, perfect. Thanks for trying. Thanks for trying to understand this tradition. So, and in Spain, as I told you, we are not 100% okay with bullfighting now. know, we don't know what will happen in the future, especially with this COVID. This past Monday, I was with a bullfighter in his ranch, and they said that this COVID, we don't know what's going to happen, because 2 years without bullfights, who can pay for all of these? Who can pay for the bulls? I mean, a lot of bull ranches, they're super expensive to breed, and if they don't sell them, they're closing. So we don't know what's going to happen. So it's, well, the world in change.
It's true of a lot of the tourism industry. We just don't know what's going to happen. I mean, anything that's related to that. So would you say then that the bullfighting, how much of it do you think depends on tourism?
Oof, that's a good question. How much? The thing is that, for example, I think it's 80% of the seats of this Bullring, they are family or season tickets, like football tickets that go from family to, I mean, you know, from the father to the son to the grandson, blah, blah, blah. So 80% is that type of seats. So maybe a 20% could be from tourism.
Oh, so it's not as much as I would have thought. So it's mostly then locals who go.
Yes, yes. Most of the people that come, especially to this one, in Sevilla as well. Yeah, I mean, we have tourism coming here, but as I told you, it's one of the things in Spain that a lot of people don't like it, so they don't come.
Wow.
And I think you're losing a lot of the insights of the country, because the passion, the love, and the hate of bullfighting, it's a very important part of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at the questions. I don't see any specific questions right now, but I was wondering if maybe since you have this very special privilege of getting into the Bullring, would you mind just walking around, doing another little walk around to show us the ring?
Okay. Let me see if I don't kill myself.
Oh, it's also a little muddy too. Don't want to get you all muddy.
Yeah, well, it's raining like crazy. I'm like, okay, will you stop? Okay, let me put this here. Okay, let me go down for a second. Okay. Okay. I'm back.
Okay, so typically, would this be sort of like a soccer stadium where people would have regular seats, or is it changing every time?
Nope. You have regular seats and you have your own seats. And obviously, the ones on front row are super expensive. And as they go higher and higher and higher and higher, they are super cheap. Now here in the Pamplona's Bullring, we're very happy because one of the things they're doing is they are selling the tickets online. So there's people not making profit out of it. So if you want to come to Pamplona's Bullring, you can go on the website and you can buy it directly, and you pay, I think it's like a 10% extra that it goes for this house. By the way, this Bullring, all the money that is raised here goes for charity, goes for a house of elderly people with no money, which is one of the things that people don't know. So that's pretty cool. The issue is, okay, if you want the leftover tickets, is the ones that you can buy in their website. That 20%. If you want a front row ticket, you have to buy it from somebody from the town, and that is going to be super expensive. I mean, I have paid, I think, well, 1 year I had one person asking me for Hemingway seats, and this person paid 600 euros for one seat.
Wow.
I was like, crazy. And this person booked 9 seats. So imagine, so like, what? Okay, so let me turn the camera around, because here, where we are, so we are behind the barricades, okay? So this is the barricades where the bullfighters would be when they're not fighting. And here, it's the little thing that the bullfighters will call the bull that is, you know, if there's some danger, hey, bull, hey! And they would come all the way to here, okay? So this is how it looks. So in the arena, everybody says that the bullfighter is the one who decides everything. The bullfighter doesn't decide anything. There is a president of the bullfight, which is the one who decides absolutely everything. And he or she, normally it's a politician, okay, so we don't like them. It's going to be seated up there in that concrete thingy, okay, that's for the political people in town. Here in number 1 is where the press, international press are, and everybody taking pictures and everything, okay, right behind there. This is the shady part in the afternoon, okay? So it's nice and sunny. Oops, wrong way.
We have a
So all of
question,
this is-
Fran. Somebody's asking, what is the material that the walls are made of, and is it strong enough to protect the audience?
Yes.
That's a great question.
Yeah, great question. They're wooden. Look.
They're
this is-
wood?
that's- Yeah.
That doesn't
wooden.
seem strong enough.
Well, the thing is that, okay, the bulls, these barricades are a little bit shorter than the ones in the rest of the world because of the running of the bulls, okay? Because imagine when you have in the morning the running of the bulls, 2,000 people comes running in this bull ring. And if you see here, there's a little step that you can step on and jump the barricade, okay? So that's why it's a little bit lower. Normally they're a little bit higher, so the bulls cannot jump, because once in a while, the bull is so powerful that they jump over here and then start running all around here. Once in a very, very while, if the bull is way too strong, they can go all the way up there, okay? But we have some wires, so the bulls will not go all the way through. But yes, they're wooden. And look, that's the mark of a bull. That's
So have you ever
crazy.
seen anybody get injured when you've gone to a bullfight?
Many times. I mean, you asked me how many bullfighters get injured. A lot of them, they get injured. The good ones, the ones that bullfight close to the bull, they get injured. Sometimes they die. Here in Pamplona's Bullring, we have 2 fully equipped emergency rooms for the bullfighters in case anything happens. So but if you go to a small bull ring, they die. So yeah.
So another question I have from a viewer is, are bullfights only during festival times during a specific season or all year round? And how old are the bulls when they're presented in the ring?
Okay, so in Pamplona, we only have bullfights during the bullfighting season, which is from July 6th to July 14th. On July 6th, we have bullfighting on top of a horse, which is called rejoneo. And the rest of the days, traditional bullfighting on foot, okay? And the bulls have to be 5 years old. They have eaten the grass of 5 springs.
So is the bullfighting, is that a little bit like soccer is organized, where some cities are sort of more prestigious than others, and then there's different leagues?
That is what we say, it's the category of the bull ring, okay? So you have first class, second class, third class. Pamplona is first class because we are the 4th largest bull ring in the world. We bring the most beautiful bulls, and we bring some of the best bullfighters. Obviously, if a bullfighter does well in Seville or in Madrid, that is like #1 thing. And if they do it, if they succeed in Mexico City, it is the largest bull ring in the world. It's a huge success also. So yeah, we have different scales of bullfighting bull rings. Sorry.
So where does Pamplona fit in there?
We're #1s. We're in the first category. We are, a lot of bullfighters fear coming to Pamplona because normally when you go to a bullfight, everybody's super quiet, but here we are in a party. So the sunny side, everybody's dancing and there's music, and the bull is looking, what the hell is going on here? So they don't pay attention. And here, as we're in the north, we get a lot of wind, okay? So as we get a lot of wind, that is not good for the bull. So that's, well, it's not good for the bullfighter because the cape will make the bull go a little dizzier, and that's not a good thing. So a lot of bullfighters, they don't like coming to Pamplona.
More challenging then, huh?
Yeah.
So how many years does a fighter participate, and at what age do they start and end their careers?
Bullfighters, we have bullfighting schools all around Spain, and the kids, they start going by the age of 10, 11, but by the age of 14 is when they see if they have, if they have something, that extra thing. And then they're sponsorized by wealthy people, and they take them to better schools. Especially they take them in Mexico, they can start bullfighting when they're 16. And in Spain, by law, you cannot start bullfighting until you're 18. So imagine going to Mexico, living in Mexico, killing in Mexico. So they start quite young, And when should they retire? I always say they should retire when the suit doesn't look good.
That could vary.
It's like, please, no, that doesn't look good.
It's interesting watching you walk around and hearing about all the history of this, because obviously my area of expertise is Italian, Roman, Greek history. And this echoes so much what we know about the Colosseum and Roman and even Greek traditions around these kinds of ceremonies. And I'm just curious, I mean, is that sort of recognized as part of the history of bullfighting, as the Roman context? And, they used to do these animal fights in arenas in Roman times, then they would take the animal that was slaughtered and feed the crowd afterwards. Like, we know these things happened. So is that the historical root of this?
Well, you know better than anybody else that all around Europe, we have all of this mythology with the bulls. We have in Egypt, we have the Minotaur in Rome, and in the Greek culture, everywhere we have in the Mediterranean the bulls. When the Romans had the Roman Colosseums, in Rome, they would free wild animals. Here in Iberia, to Christians, they would free bulls. That's the beginning of bullfighting. Okay? And it has evolved to what we have now. And it's constantly changing. So it will change. Okay? But it is a Roman thing. And as I told you, this is like a Roman Colosseum. I mean, it is a perfect Roman Colosseum.
Yeah, it is. I mean, everything about this looks exactly like any arena that I've seen in the Roman world.
So it's a huge thing. I mean, it is part of our long past heritage that we still do.
Wow.
It's a tradition.
Well, the ancient past is not the ancient past. It's really the present, isn't it?
Yes. Well, we're here. I mean, it's like, cannot get more present than this. It's like, we are in the middle of history, where it's the tradition and it's the culture and it's all in here. The sun also rises.
That is fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Fran, for showing us around here this morning. What an absolute privilege to be able to get into an empty bullfighting ring. When we started this whole thing with the book club, I had ideas about what it could be, but Fran always goes above and beyond. He's our star Guide Collective member who always thinks way beyond any.
I can do the best for the group. We have to. Well, by the way, at the Guide Collective magazine, there's an article about bullfighting. So if you want to read more about it and learn a little bit more, go to our magazine and guidecollective.com, where you will see a big article about bullfighting. Hopefully you liked it. See? What else, my friends? Anything else from this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful bullring? Yay!
So my question for you is, are you warm enough? Because I heard there was a big snowstorm that hit Spain recently.
Freezing. Look at my nose. It's all red.
That's weird, isn't it? That's not normal.
No. We had this storm coming from the west, Filomena, and it has especially hit Madrid, the center of Spain. We had huge snowstorms. Half of the country was collapsed. Here we had some snow, but not big deal. The thing is that the temperatures are getting low, and it's raining. It's a lot of humidity, super cold right now. I think we're like 2 degrees Celsius, which is like 35 Fahrenheit, something like that. So it's windy, so it's like not the most beautiful evening ever.
Wow. Okay, well, we're going to let you go and warm up, but thank you so much for everything you've done. And also, just to remind people that have maybe not heard about the book club yet, the Guide Collective book club, you can find information on guidecollective.com, and I've put the link onto this. I'll also put the link to Fran's article, but you've already done a couple of other things to kind of show us around Hemingway's world, right?
Yes. So it's going to be up in I think in a couple of days, something like that. On the book club part, we have the first talk. We talk in a Hotel La Perla, which is where Hemingway stayed here in the city of Pamplona. So that was a little introduction to the book. Today we have this, and on the 25th, we'll have a special place.
So basically, Fran has, again, like I said, always going way over beyond our expectations. He's going to different sites from the book or sites associated with Hemingway so that we can really tie this whole thing. So it's an interactive international book club, which is pretty amazing. You are a wonder, Fran. Thank you so much for taking us out here today. And thank you for everybody for watching today. And again, guide-collective.com. And it's the 25th, Fran, and you need an invitation. Is that right?
Yes. So please get in touch with us, send us an email, a contact, and we'll send you the Zoom link to it.
Okay, so it's January 25th. All right. Thanks so much again, and stay warm, okay?
It's been a great pleasure. Ciao, everybody. Have a
Thanks,
great day.
All right. We'll see
Bye-bye.
you again soon. Thanks.